Hello, guys. How are you? So here's the question. Are black men the face of pedophilia? That's the question today. That's what we're going to get into today. Are our brothers the face of pedophilia, rape, child molestation, and a whole bunch of disgusting act? Are black men the face of these things? We're going to get into that. We're going to get to the bottom of whose face it is that represents pedophilia. Because there's a narrative now that's being pushed, with this whole Me Too this and Me Too that. And it started off with some big producer in Hollywood. I don't remember the guy's name. If you guys know the name, please drop it below the video. If you guys, this dude, it started out with him, raping dozens of women. All right. We haven't heard anything. You know what? If I happen to remember his name throughout this video, I'll let you guys know who he is, but I'm sure you guys already know who I'm talking about. This big business, a Hollywood producer who, this whole Me Too movement started out with, and now it appears that the faces of black men represent this whole entire thing, as we see with Bill Cosby and R. Kelly and this whole stuff. So we're really going to get into today who really represents this whole pedophilia. Who are the faces of pedophilia? And this is just a scratch on the surface, okay? Because I don't have time in a day to really get into all the faces of child pedophilia. But we just gonna scratch the surface today, okay? So today, I'm gonna share my screen with you guys. Please bear with me because my computer is acting weird, okay? I have an old computer. If you guys want to donate a computer to me, okay, because this computer is acting crazy. I might have a little difficulty sharing my screen, but I'm gonna try, okay? I'm gonna try. All right. So just bear with me, guys. Because we're here to see who the faces of pedophilia and rape is. That's what we're here to figure out. We're here to figure that out. All right. So, you know what? Before I go here, let me show you guys something. Okay. Do you guys know who this dude is? Let me click on his, there he is. Hold on. There he is right there. Wait, hold on. There you go. All right, I'm going to tell you who, for those of you who don't know who this smiling white boy is, all right? I'm going to tell you guys, we're going to get into who this dude is, okay? His name is Jeffrey Epstein. That's his name, Jeffrey Epstein. And, he's wearing his little golf shirt or whatever that is, right? This dude is one of the richest men in America. He's very wealthy. He's a wealthy businessman, all right? This dude is so wealthy. He is friends with the likes of Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton. He is friends with the Duke of York. That we're going to get into that, okay? We're going to get into who the Duke of York is. But this dude is so wealthy. He has pretty much a lot of those people in his back pocket. Politician, celebrities, a lot of them are in this guy's back pocket. This dude we're looking at here, his name is Jeffrey Epstein. And we're going to get into who Jeffrey Epstein is. All right. We're going to get into that right now. We're going to get right into that right now. Okay. There he is. Well, we'll show him in a minute. All right. There we go.
Age. We were little girls. I was 16. I started going to him when I was like 14 turning 15.
If you think at 14, $200, that's a lot of money at 14 years old. I mean, that's a lot of money now.
She's like, oh, you know.
Well, first, let me explain to you guys what you guys are seeing, okay? Jeffrey Epstein. Let's show him again. Let me show him again. Where is he? Let me show him again. This is him right here. Jeffrey Epstein. Before I get into that video, Jeffrey Epstein, the wealthy businessman who's friends with a lot of politicians and a lot of celebrities, okay? This dude here was convicted and charged with pedophilia, rape, child sex molestation, underage girl, all the whole. Listen, the FBI have a long stacked up list on this dude right here, okay? Stacks and stacks and stacks, all right, on this dude right here. We're gonna get into it, right? They have stacks on this dude right here of what he has done, the FBI, okay? And this dude was not only arrested and charged and sentenced for all the things that they accuse him of, child rape, pedophilia, the whole 9 yards, right? He was charged with. This guy got to spend less than he was sentenced to 15 months. 15 months. Let me repeat that. 15 months in jail for his crime, right? 15 months. And he only spent about 12 of those 15 months in jail. And let me just explain to you guys where he spent those 12 months. This dude that you're looking at on the screen was given 12 months behind some wall, but it wasn't in a prison. He spent 12 months in some fancy place on Palm Beach in Florida, where he was allowed to hire his own security firm to watch him, right? He was allowed to hire his own security firm to watch over him while he served his 12 months in a fancy place in Palm Beach, Florida. And during those 12 months, this dude right here that you're looking at right there, while spending so-called time for all the crimes that he did, he was given 12 hours out of each day to go to work in his office, in his business office, 12 hours a day, every day, while he's spending 12 months in some fancy apartment building somewhere while he's being watched by his own private security firm. Let's get into it. Let's get into it, guys. Let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Do you need to make any extra money? I'm like, yeah. She's like, okay, I can give you $200. There's this older guy in Palm Beach. He gets a lot of massages from girls. You know, that was it.
They were recruited by someone who was adept at finding girls that would be willing to go to a house for a few $100s. It started out, give a man a back rub, but many cases it turned into something far worse than that, elevated to a crime, and a serious crime. In some cases, sexual batteries.
My life would have been different if I would have never went to Jeffrey Epstein's house. It was just a dark turning point in my life.
On June 30th, 2008, Jeffrey Epstein, a Palm Beach multimillionaire hedge fund manager, received what might have been the most lenient plea deal for a serial sex offender in U.S. history. The Miami Herald identified over 60 of his victims, just young middle and high school girls at the time of the abuse. More than a decade later, several of them are talking for the first time about how they were molested by Epstein and believe they were betrayed by the very prosecutors who were supposed to hold Epstein accountable.
They came from fairly disadvantaged backgrounds. There was some dysfunction in their families. The lure of a lot of money was more than they were able to resist.
I went from an abusive situation to being a runaway, to living in foster homes, to just already being hardened by life on the streets.
The other girls that I personally know that were coming from trailer parks, that were having gun shootings, drugs.
My mother was on drugs at the time, and she couldn't provide for me, and I was pretty much homeless.
One child would be lured over, would be paid substantial sums of money, would be offered the further inducement of being paid a bounty for anybody else that she was able to bring to Epstein. A network developed where many young girls in the same kinds of circumstance wound up being victimized.
The three of us slid into the backseat of the cab and we drove. And I remember just driving down Okeechobee Boulevard and thinking how I had never been on Palm Beach Island before in my whole entire life, that I had lived in West Palm Beach.
By the time I was 16, I brought him up to 75 girls, all the ages of, 14, 15, 16, people going from 8th grade to 9th grade at just school park.
Did you guys hear that? This man had these young girls going out and recruiting other young babies to bring them back to his mansion. That's what you just said. That's what you just said.
Parties is where I would recruit him from. All Jeffrey cared about was go find me more girls. His appetite was insatiable. He couldn't stop. He wanted new, fresh, young faces every single day.
The sheer volume of girls, the frequency, sometimes several or many in the same day, the age of the girls. In some cases, there were victims that didn't know each other, had never met each other. They had basically the same story.
I remember there was a staircase, and it was like kind of like a spiral almost.
And she brings us up the stairs, and it was like spiral stairs.
You walked into his bedroom, around his bed, to almost like a very little hall, and then it was another door. And that's where everything would happen, was in his bathroom. He would have a dresser, and it was filled with like, the first drawer was lotion, and then like the third drawer down was like sex toys. So we would take the massage table out and set it up in the middle of the room.
And then he came in with his white towel on around him.
And then he just laid down in his towel on his stomach, and he was just talking to people on the phone.
All right, guys, this is gonna get a little gross, okay? So if you don't like, I mean, none of us like gross, all right? But this whole entire video that I'm doing is gross all over, okay? So if you're not into gross, which I'm not, but I really have to show this video. You can click off the video or just fast forward it or something. All right, but this is disgusting.
He flipped over. That's when he said, okay, you can go ahead and take off your shirt and pants, but you can stay in your underwear.
He would want us to stand next to him, and he would masturbate while he stared at us, touched us.
To pull his nipples and to play with them in between his fingers. And also while I was playing with his nipples, he kept doing that stuff to me. But he was very aggressive, like when he would do it.
And then he tried to put his finger in my underwear, and I like jumped back, and I pulled back, and I was like, whoa. And he's like, no, it's okay. I'm sorry. I won't do that. And then he went back to doing that. He's like, just on the outside. And I'm like, oh my God.
It ended with sexual abuse and intercourse, and then a pat on the back. You've done a really good job. Like, thank you very much. And here's $200.
I want you guys to pay attention to what this girl is about to say, okay? Let's pay attention to what she's about to say.
Before you know it, I'm being lent out to politicians and to academics and to people that you brought.
Did you guys catch that? Do you want me to play it again? She just said, before you know it, she was being lent out to politicians and other big shots. All right, let's go back. Let's play it again. Let's play it again.
Here's $200. Before you know it, I'm being lent out to politicians and to academics and to people that royalty and people that you would never think, like, how did you get into that position of power in the first place if you're this disgusting, evil, decrepit person on the inside?
So this man had little babies. I mean, a 12, 14-year-old, you're still a baby. This man had these little girls in his house, his mansion, that he was lending out to all these. And we're going to get into as you're going to see in this video, you're going to get into who these politicians were. They're going to show it to you in this video. We're going to show you some of who these so-called politicians and celebrities that he was lending these young girls to. Okay, just keep watching.
Epstein, then in his 50s, was also suspected of organizing sex activities with underage girls at his homes in New York City, New Mexico, and on his private island in the Caribbean.
You're talking about hundreds of children all over the world.
Victims that were alleged sex slaves of Jeffrey Epstein that they brought over from Eastern Bloc countries.
I've seen hundreds and hundreds of girls go through Jeffrey's swinging door, his ever revolving door.
This guy is big time. He knows people that know people that know people.
Flight logs from his plane and his address book read like a who's who of some of the richest and most famous and powerful people in the world. Celebrities, actors, philanthropists, academics, and world leaders.
It's really disappointing to look, as a lawyer, to look at this circumstance and say, how did this happen?
Do you guys see? Do you guys see who those people are? Did you guys see those people? You want me to run it back? You guys saw those people, right? Right? You guys saw who they were, right? Okay, let's take a look at it again.
Flight logs from his plane and his address book read like a who's who of some of the richest and most famous and powerful people in the world. Celebrities, actors, philanthropists, academics, and world leaders.
It's really disappointing to look, as a lawyer, to look at this circumstance and say, how did this happen? One individual commits one abuse of a minor, in one instance of abuse of a minor, and they're held accountable for years and years through the criminal justice system. This individual abused hundreds of girls, and nothing happened. It's really, really unfortunate. We look at that and we say, how did the criminal justice system fail these girls in such a significant way? How has that happened?
There was ample physical evidence and witness testimony to support the girls' stories, including notepads seized from Epstein's home with their names and phone numbers, along with phone records. Despite the corroborating evidence, Palm Beach State Attorney Barry Krischer wanted to charge Epstein only with a misdemeanor.
And once that happened, it was clear to me that justice would not be served by the state attorney in the handling of the case, and we referred it to the FBI. And then there were many, many more victims after that time.
Epstein hired somebody that would impress the state attorney, Barry Krischer, to drop the investigation.
The U.S. Attorney's Office got involved with this case with Jeffrey Epstein's A-list of defense attorneys that are extremely well.
The U.S. Attorney Office. Pay attention, guys, because that's where those young girls were, okay? That's where them young girls were, all the way up to the U.S. Attorney Office. Pay attention, children.
Known and extremely powerful. And I think these attorneys were able to manipulate the sitting U.S. attorney and the assistant U.S. attorney working the cases. A few things happened in this case that during my law enforcement career I've never seen before. U.S. attorneys here had an indictment and they were sending it back and forth to Jeffrey's lawyers for changes. Never seen anything like that before.
Well, I started getting somewhat of an inclination that this is a situation where somehow, for some reason, the defendant and the government are working together against the victims. Although that kind of conspiracy theory sounds...
Hello. Pay attention to what this white boy is saying.
So preposterous that I didn't want to believe it.
A subsequent FBI investigation found a sprawling network of victims and enough evidence to fill a 53-page indictment with federal sex crime charges. But Miami U.S. Attorney Alexander Acosta signed off on a secret plea bargain, while deliberately not informing Epstein's victims.
That dude work in the White House.
Deal granted Epstein and his accomplices immunity from federal prosecution. Epstein pleaded guilty in state court to 2 prostitution charges and served 13 months. Epstein's punishment was like that of no other sex offender in Florida. He had a private space in a vacant wing of the Palm Beach County Stockade, but records show he spent limited time there. He was allowed to go to his private West Palm Beach office, where he spent up to 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, often accepting visitors, including female friends.
What he ended up pleading to was a joke. The sentence he served was even a bigger joke. And then his probation was a slap in everybody's face.
The government, by that agreement, was definitely putting their name on something that they believed at that moment was ending the prosecution, the possibility of prosecution, and ending the victim's rights. Right there, that's what the government believed.
How can you do that to all these girls? How can you tell them that what he did was okay?
Acosta, now President Trump's labor secretary, didn't explain why he sealed the details of Epstein's plea so that no one would know the scope of Epstein's crimes or who was involved. Years later, he said he and his staff were bombarded by Epstein's army of legal superstars who launched a year-long assault against.
This guy right here works in the White House. Now, I don't know if he's still there because, you know, Trump is Trump has been having a revolving door, but he was in the White House with Trump. Trump brought him in. And don't forget, Trump was spending time with this dude's in this guy's mansion in West Palm Beach. Oh, it's all connected. All connected.
Against him and other prosecutors that they took all the way to the U.S. Attorney General in Washington, D.C.
If you don't let the victims be a part of the solution, there is no solution. And in the case of Jeffrey Epstein, the prosecutors created a universe that excluded the victims and disempowered them for a second time and empowered the perpetrator. That is absolutely unacceptable.
Really, if you think about it too hard, it's scary because this is our government that's supposed to protect us, but has done everything to protect, you know, a pedophile.
Federal prosecutors claim they achieved a victory by forcing Epstein to register as a sex offender, but there's no agency that regularly monitors his whereabouts. He lists his residence as the U.S. Virgin Islands, but his flight records show that he takes trips around.
Pay attention here, guys, right? They claim this dude is a registered sex offender. Those are his private jets, right? Those are his private jets, right? This dude is flying to the Caribbean. You know what he's doing in the Caribbean to those little babies in the Caribbean? To your little young babies in the Caribbean, okay? This guy is allowed to fly wherever he wants to go on his private jet, which we're going to talk about in a minute, right? God help those little babies in the Caribbean. That's all I'm going to say.
Around the United States and Europe in his new private plane.
This is probably the most unjust outcome of any case that I've been involved in 40 years.
I think it's something that the government just can't ignore anymore. There's so many of us that they just can't forget about it. It's not something that's going to be yesterday's news.
Since then, about 24 civil lawsuits have been filed in connection with the case, including one set to go to trial in December in state court in Palm Beach County that could finally expose more about Epstein's crimes, how many people were involved, and why his case was dismissed by federal prosecutors. Another case filed by Epstein's victims in federal court seeks to invalidate Epstein's plea deal and send him to prison.
I am involved in this case in defending the integrity of the justice system, in making sure that we do everything we can to be sure that justice is not bought.
He needs to be behind bars. He needs to be behind bars for the rest of his life. There is way too many girls for him not to be. It's just mind-blowing.
Guys, let me just.
It's just mind-blowing.
Let's just pause there for a second. Let's just pause there for a second, right? I want you guys to pay attention to some of the people, and these are just some of the people that we know about. Okay, Bill Clinton. It is on record that Bill Clinton has flown a total of about approximately 26 times in this man's private jet. 26 time in this man's private jet while this was going on, right? Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, okay, and a whole long list of politics. Now, this is one thing that you guys did not hear in this particular video, okay, because there's so many on this dude. One of the things that you did not hear in this particular video is the fact that when the FBI went into this man's mansion in Florida and raided his mansion, what they found was cameras all over his mansion, cameras, right? And when they looked at those cameras, what this man was doing with the camera, he set up cameras all over his mansion, and he was recording all of the a politician and celebrities that was visiting him and that he was giving these children to. He was secretly recording these people so that he could blackmail them. That's what they found out when they searched this man's property in Florida. They found tons and tons and tons of secret private cameras that he hooked up all over his mansion, and secretly recording his guests against their will, because they didn't know they were being recorded while they were in their little rooms with these young girls, right, doing what God knows what with these babies, right? This man had cameras in all of these rooms watching them, and that's how he used to blackmail them. And then you wonder why he got off. You wonder why he spent 12 months in a fancy place with his own security, while he was allowed to 12 hours a day go to his job, to his office, and have his girlfriends visit him all day, right? Because this man had so much against these people. Do you guys know who the Duke of York is? The Duke of York, look that up. Duke of York. The Duke of York is Prince Andrew. The Duke of York is a member of the royal family. Okay, I want you guys to Google that. This man on the screen was very good friend with the Duke of York. And the Duke of York was spending a lot of time in Jeffrey Epstein mansion with these young girls as well. That's one of the people who was on an investigation, okay, with this dude right here, Duke of York, Prince Andrew. He's a member of the royal family. That's how high this shit goes. That's how high this shit goes. That's why this dude is still out there flying his private jet all over the world and didn't get a day behind bar. Not a day behind bar, right? So what we're looking at here, brothers and sisters, is the face of pedophilia, okay? The face of pedophilia. We're going to get into that, man. We're going to get into who the face of pedophilia is. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me with this whole narrative that the black man is the face of pedophilia? Are you kidding me with that nonsense? Get out of here. Anyway, so I'm going to share, let me see if I'm missing anything. All right. There's so much on this dude right here. I don't have all day, but we're going to get into something else. All right. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at this old hag right here. This old hag right here. All right. My computer is acting up again. All right. Let's see. Just bear with me, guys. I'm trying to show you guys a video. Okay, so this nasty, disgusting looking old hag right here, his name is Lyle Burgess. Okay, that's his name. He's 79 years old, almost 80 years old. And this man here, a 5-year-old girl, 5 years old, right? And didn't get a day in prison. Let's all read it together. A longtime Stockton businessman, right, was sentenced Wednesday to just 90 days of house arrest. There we go. Okay, house arrest and 5 years of informal probation. Unbelievable. After pleading to no contest to statutory rape of a child. And how old was that child? Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look at how old the child was. The girl was just 5 years old at the time. Okay, there we go. 5 years old. 5 years old. This man right here raped a 5-year-old. And the judge, 90 days of house arrest. That's what the judge gave him. That's what the judge gave him. What we're looking at here, let's see if we could play this video. My computer is acting up, guys.
What had happened was totally unjust.
79-year-old Lyle Burgess pleaded no contest to felony statutory rape of a girl who is now just 7 years old. The longtime Stockton businessman was sentenced on Wednesday to just 90 days house arrest detention and 5 years of informal probation. He does not have to register as a sex offender.
A 5-6-year-old little girl was molested.
Did y'all just hear that? Where does my video go?
Normally, the sentence is state prison, and then when you're released, you have to register as a sex offender.
Fox 40 reached out to Deputy District Attorney Kathy Murray to find out why Burgess was charged with just statutory rape and why he wouldn't have to register as a sex offender. Murray deferred us to the media person who instructed us to put our questions in writing online. We haven't heard back yet.
Future victims are not protected.
We also went to Burgess's home in an upscale gated community in Stockton. I'm sorry. We just wanted to give him the courtesy that we're doing a story, and if he had any comment at all, we wanted to make sure we reflected his side because we're talking to the other side as well. No comment from the family at all? No comment. Okay.
He's obviously very wealthy, and it's just an example of how the wealthy people, time and time again, escape the penalty for what they did.
Burgess founded Rare Parts, Inc., an automotive parts manufacturer and distributor.
They trusted this man. He was a family friend, and he took advantage of him.
Maleko says the sex assault happened after the family was invited over to Burgess's Calaveras County cabin back in 2016. As far as how the young victim is doing now,
The girl is not doing good. She's showing all the symptoms of somebody who's been molested. She's in counseling, and she's going to be in counseling all her life.
Rowena Shaddix, Fox 40 News.
Man, oh man, man, oh man. That is an almost 80-year-old man that raped a 5-year-old baby, okay? And that's just one face of pedophilia. Let's take a look at another face of pedophilia. Let me see, where is it? Okay, here we go. Now, see, with this dude, they're protecting him at all costs. This dude right here. You guys read, I don't know if you can see the description here. Wealthy child rapist given probation as the judge felt he would not do too well in jail. Do you guys see that? The judge felt that he would not do too well in jail. So he was given probation. And not only that, but they're protecting this dude so bad that you can barely find a photograph of him. I couldn't find one. Okay, but we're gonna read a little bit of the story. Okay, so newly released document revealed that in 2009, a Delaware judge sentenced a wealthy heir to probation after he admitted that he admitted it that he raped his 3-year-old daughter. I hope you guys are paying attention. The judge says the rich white man would not do well in prison. Let me highlight this for y'all, because really, when I read the story, man, I was like, what? There you go. Newly released document revealed in 2009, a Delaware judge sentenced a wealthy heir to probation after he admitted he had raped his 3-year-old daughter, saying the rich white man would not do well in prison. So it's okay for black men because black men do well in prison. Yeah. But rich white men don't do well in prison. You guys, you heard it here first, man. You heard it here first, okay? All right. The demon name is Robert H. Richard. If you guys want to go look up the story, maybe you guys can find a picture of him. I wasn't able to find a picture of him, but here is this is his name right here, Robert H. Richard, the 4 or whatever. Okay, one of the heir to the DuPont fortune. I have no idea what that is. All right, he's clearly some really rich, wealthy person. All right, but he admitted in June of 2008 that he raped his 3-year-old daughter, his own daughter, 3-year-old. Okay, so and just so you guys know, this is a white boy, in case you're wondering. Yes, he's a white dude. All right, he's a white dude. You know what? Let me see if I could find him. All right, let me just give me 1 second, guys. Let me see if I could see what this dude looked like. Okay. Let me see what this dude looked like. Let me see what he looked like. Oh, well, there you have it. Here he is. All right, we found him. Hello. look at him. Look like a goddamn pig. Doesn't this dude look like a pig? Well, somebody did a good job. Look at that. Look like a hog. I mean, this dude literally looked like a goddamn swine. But anyway, rape his own 3-year-old daughter. Did not get a day in jail, right? So what we're looking at here, brothers and sisters, is one of the many millions and millions of faces of pedophilia, and this is what it looks like right here. This is what it looks like right here. Pale skin with straight hair. Okay, this is the face of pedophilia. All right. So you know when we're out here, let me get back to my screen. While we're out here, you know, attacking our brothers, right? Because the white man tells us to. You know, we only react when the white man tells us to react. Master, is it time to get mad at R. Kelly today? I mean, are we allowed to get mad at one of the black men today? You know what I mean? That's how it is with black folks. You know, we only I mean, R. Kelly has this whole thing about R. Kelly has been going on for years. You know, the thing with the video, I've never seen that video, but years ago when I just came here from Jamaica, there was this thing that happened with him with a video and child, and to my understanding, the parent, the father of the child, not only did they deny that that was their child, the father continued to work with the man for years. I don't know if he still worked with him, but the parents want nothing to do with it. Okay, they just wanted it to go away, right? So you listen, I'm not here to defend anyone or defend what if this dude is really involved in these type of situation, then he needs to face justice. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, but there is this narrative now, this movement with the white supremacists and the feminists, the black and white feminists, are attacking black men. You know, this whole narrative of toxic masculinity that they're putting on the black man. Let me tell y'all something. The black man is the most masculine creature on the planet. Okay, let me just throw that out there. And the jealousy, because there's a lot of men of other races that wish they had the type of masculinity that black brothers have. I'm talking about straight black man, okay? Real straight black man, all right? Can't come close to the brothers with that has masculinity. So this whole narrative now that they're, you know, they're attacking the image of black man. You know, this whole narrative about toxic masculinity. You know, this whole Me Too movement started with what is that guy's name again? Oh, damn it. You know what? If you guys remember his name, just drop it below in this video. The producer and the Hollywood producer that this whole entire Me Too movement started with. I just don't remember his name. But anyway, how did we don't even hear about that dude anymore. See, I don't even remember his name. We don't hear about him anymore. How did it go from him, some white dude in Hollywood? How did it go from him to now everything about rapists? You see a black face, you see a black dude face. Okay, this whole Bill Cosby been sentenced to jail, right? And you don't hear anything about this other dude, right? R. Kelly this, blah blah that. I mean, Little Bow Wow just got his ass whooped, right? And who went to jail? He went to jail. I mean, the dude has scratches all over his goddamn face, and he has the bigger charge. The person who attacked him, which was a black woman, yes, it was. And you know what? I'm gonna get into something like that in another video, a different video. I ain't gonna talk about that today. Okay, I'm gonna get at you, black woman. Okay, we gonna talk about y'all, black woman, but that's not the video for today. Okay, but we're talking about the attack on the black man, how you have a black man with visible cuts and bruises on his face, and this man spent time in jail behind bars, and he was charged with a bigger charge than the person who attacked him. So what we're looking at here is an attack on the masculinity of black men, okay? Because the whole agenda is to break down the black man masculinity, just to strip him of all his masculinity. And so we will be wiped out after that happened. We're going to be wiped out. You see, because once you turn all black men into homosexual and effeminate, soft sissies, okay, what do you have left? What do you have left? A bunch of homosexual female pretending to be men. And I mean, it's like, what the hell? We're living in this alternate universe where everybody's so friggin' confused, man. Okay, but that's for another video. All right, but what I want really, you know, I'm here to talk about is just this attack on the image of black men. Okay, how come nobody is talking about Jeffrey Epstein? How come a lot of you guys don't even know who this dude is, this white man is, who have molested hundreds of white babies? Now, here's my question to you guys, right? If white folks didn't give a rat's behind about all them white babies that Jeffrey Epstein and all them celebrities and the Duke of York and Bill Clinton and Trump and all these big politicians molested and raped all these children that they were, you heard the girl in the video, she says she was loaned out to all these people, to all these big wealthy men. She was loaned out to all these politicians, right? My question is, if white people did not give a rat's behind about these children being taken advantage of and raped by these many grown men, what makes you think that they give a rat's behind about some little young black girl in the hood? Okay, this whole thing about R. Kelly, you know, the whole surviving R. Kelly thing, you know, where everybody's just pretending like they care. You know, I wonder how much money these girls got to do that video, but that's for another time. Do you really think they give a rat's behind about you, black woman in that video who did this thing about R. Kelly? Do you really think they care? Do you really think they care about you? The person who funded this whole R. Kelly thing, you know, surviving R. Kelly, my understanding is she is related to the Disney family. No? And I could be wrong, but my understanding is also that the Disney Channel owned that channel that they did the whole surviving R. Kelly segment on. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. All right. I'm paraphrasing here. I could be wrong. But from my understanding, some member of the Disney family is responsible for this whole getup. Right. So, you know, why are we not focused on the people who are really hurting children, right? Not one of these people said that they were raped by R. Kelly. They said he treat them bad. You know, he didn't do this, or he may have hit them a couple of times. I don't know. But there are no rape charges on R. Kelly. There's no rape charges. You just watch the video. There's a whole bunch of rape charges, you know, but again, I'm not here to defend R. Kelly. What I'm trying to say is the people who are telling you guys to get angry, right? They don't even give a damn about their own children, because they let these people get off for raping their own children. So this is a clear indication that these people don't give a damn about these black children that supposedly get hurt by R. Kelly or whatever. Do you see how fast Bill Cosby went to prison? You see how fast he went to prison? He's a black man. Okay. So don't sit here. Stop. You know, don't sit and fool yourself into believing that these people give a rat's behind about some little black girl from the hood. They don't. They don't. Okay. This is an attack on the black man. Okay. That's why you don't see Harvey Weinstein. That's the name I've been trying to remember. Harvey Weinstein. That's the big Hollywood producer that this whole Me Too movement started about, I believe, right? What happened to Harvey Weinstein? What happened to him? We haven't heard anything about him. I mean, the whole Bill Cosby thing was happening around the time when Harvey Weinstein was being talked about, and how many this dude raped dozens of women, molested and raped dozens of women. Where is he? Nobody's talking about him. What happened to him? He's flying under the radar because Master did not give you guys the green light to talk about Harvey Weinstein, right? So nobody's talking about Harvey Weinstein. Nobody's talking about Jeffrey Epstein. He's still out there raping children. But Master didn't tell you to get angry at these people. Master told you to get angry at R. Kelly. So R. Kelly is your focus because Master said so, right? Y'all need to wake up, man. Wake up, okay? Let me tell you something. My black brothers are not my enemy, okay? And, let me say this. Let me just say this, right? Every community have demons in the community, and that includes the black community, okay? We have some demons in our community, all right, that are hurting our children and our women and each other, okay? We have male and female demons in the community, all right? But let's not sit back and pretend like we're just some demons and everybody else is some pure angel, okay? We need to get off of that. We need to hold people accountable, no matter what so-called race they are, okay? And stop getting angry when Master tells you to get angry, okay? Because why are we only talking about R. Kelly? Why? Why are we talking about these other people? We don't, this dude is flying to the Caribbean island. Do you know how many black children he's screwing down there? Do you know? Huh? How many white black children he's flying all over the place? When he doesn't have access to white kids in the Caribbean, you know who he's going after? Yeah. Okay. So here's the deal. My brothers are not my enemy. Okay. My loyalty is to my black brothers. Okay. And I'm not talking about just any black brothers. I'm talking about the good black brothers who are not out there being dysfunctional and, creating havoc in our community and doing all sort of evil, disgusting, vile act against our children, our women, and each other. Okay, I have no connection or any alliance to those people. Okay, I'm talking about the black brothers who are doing well and doing good and doing very good things for their people every day on a regular basis. Okay, that's where my loyalty lies, to my brothers. My brothers are not the faces of pedophilia. Okay, they're not. Now, do we have pedophilia, man and woman in the black community? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And there's also pedophilia in every single other community that exists. Okay. But what I'm saying is, we are not going to just get upset because Master told us to get upset today. That's what we're not going to do. We're not going to sit here and get mad at some black dude because Master tell us to we're like a bunch of hound dogs. The Master just sick your dog on somebody and the dog just chase after some. That's what y'all behave like a bunch of hound dogs. Okay. You don't have a mind of your own. Today, Master tell you to get mad at some brothers and you get mad at some brothers. What happened to Jeffrey Epstein? What happened to these nasty, filthy bastards who's going around, flying around all over the place, raping children? Those are the faces of pedophilia, not my brothers. No, they're not. No, they're not. And we need to deal with the filthy, disgusting bastard in our community who are taking advantage of our children and women and our little boys, are not just the little girls, little boys as well. Okay, we need to deal with those people. Now, I'm not here to deny that we don't have disgusting bastard in our community. That's not what I'm saying. Okay, well, we need to take care of these people. When they're, we need to call them out. We need to call them out. Oh, and I'm going to do another video about that. I'm going to do another video about that. We need to call out the filthy, disgusting demons that we have in our community. Okay, so I'm not here to be a hypocrite and make it seem like, our own people don't engage in filth. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. But we're not going to sit here and make it seem like black men are the face of pedophilia. No, we're not. No, we're not. Okay? No, they're not. They are not. All right. And so that's what I want to make very clear, because they don't have fancy jet planes and private jet. They don't have access to all these big politicians and big celebrities and the Duke of York and all, you know what I mean? Traveling and going around the world, screwing little babies all over the place and getting no time in prison. That's not happening to black men. Okay. Black men don't have access to all of that. Okay. Yes, black men do filthy stuff, but they don't have access to all these top-notch, the private jet and all the access to all these big celebrities and politician and all these people around the world. Black men are not doing that. Where are they? They don't own private jet. They're not doing that. So when you're trying to make it seem like black men is a face of pedophilia, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Anyway, I'm not going to make this video any longer. But guys, listen. Let's bring it down, okay? Let's bring it down. I'm here in support of my brothers, all right? My brothers who are out there that are doing well and doing good things for their community. All right. Shout out to you, brothers. Okay. Shout out to you. And for the brothers who are being disgusting and filthy, we're going to come for you. We're going to come for you, because we have to hold our own people accountable for their action. That's what we're not doing. We're not holding our own people accountable for their action. We need to. Okay. We really need to hold ourselves accountable for the bullshit that we do every day. But at the same time, we're not going to sit here and make it, and have people try to strip our brothers of their masculinity, okay? And have this whole thing now where we're talking about toxic masculinity. In another video I'm going to do, where I'm going to show you guys how they're going into Africa now, some countries in Africa where they are doing studies on the African male there, young and old, because they're saying that they're using this toxic masculinity thing, talking about, these men are too masculine, and it's very toxic because these are the type of men who become terrorists and all type of stuff. We're going to get into another video about that. But anyway, I'll see you guys in another video. Bye.